So we'll go to the starting angle, and then we want the angle to increase by some amount constantly. So constantly the angle is going to turn around and keep pointing further down, and then to the left, and then back up, and then to the right, so we get that circular motion. So we need to set a rate at which the angle changes. We'll call this our speed. So this will be a new variable called speed, and we'll make it 2, so that'll be 2 degrees for each frame that the game renders. So that means it'll constantly be increasing its rotation by 2 degrees. Now to keep increasing our angle by 2 degrees, we're going to constantly set the velocity angle to whatever it started out as, which is 0, plus the speed. So we're going to say, we're going to use a plus block, and we want to say angle plus speed. So we've got velocity angle plus speed. So let's say it starts out as 0, it's going to be 0 plus 2. And then the next frame it'll be 2 plus 2, it'll be 4. And then 6, and then 8, and etc. It just keeps rotating around. Well, that's what we're doing with a number. How are we actually going to make that number apply to the x and y velocity? Well, what we need to do is use something from maths called trigonometry. Now, I've made a separate tutorial game to explain trigonometry, but if we just imagine for a second that our moving platform is kind of like this spaceship here, and this green line there is our velocity, and it can point in a different angle as it keeps rotating around, but the velocity stays the same size because we always want to be moving at the same constant speed, even if it's pointing in a different angle. So we can see here that this speed with an angle is composed of an x horizontal part and a y part, and they change as the angle changes. But we don't know what they are. What is that x and what is that y? And we can see our as we move around, our angle increases, and here's where the trigonometry maths comes in. So we've got our x and we've got our y, and we know that something called the sine function of angle is equal to this divided by that. So the red divided by the green. And here's an example of it working. Now I don't want to just teach you about trigonometry here. We're going to plug the numbers in to the maths. Now one other thing we need to set up is the radius, which is over here. That's the green line. The radius is from the middle of the circle to the edge of the circle. So we'll set up one more variable, which will be called radius. And let's make that 100. So that'll be the size of the circle that we move around.